Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we'd love to run everyone through some of the highlights. It's been a while since our last thing. We actually skipped the last one because the team was so busy building out stuff. But yeah, so since the last time, there's been a whole bunch of new updates. We actually released 0.3, which was actually some breaking changes. And so if you look at our release notes, we have a little bit of a migration guide. But we will talk through some of the big changes that we made today. And then I think the really exciting topic that we have for today is Colin's going to be running us through some of the upcoming work that we have to redesign our local execution engine. And we have some really cool benchmarks to show everybody and also give everyone an idea of how this fits into Daft overall and some ideas of timelines that are coming up. Yeah, I guess we can probably get started. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess running through what we're doing in depth. Since last time, we've been working very heavily on just making sure the user experience is nice, right? So we've been building out these benchmarks for Dutch show specifically. We had a lot of feedback that like, hey, if I'm just spinning up Daft, reading some stuff in the cloud, and depending on the shape of your workload, like if it's one small file, like 1,000 small files, like 1,000 large files, right, versus like one large file, all these different shapes of workloads we're taking in different times. And so we've added a whole bunch of improvements, a whole bunch of benchmarks here too that now run in CI so that our developers are aware. But yeah, as you know, you run Daft, and if you have any issues, feel free to filter that back to the developers, and we'll make sure to put them on the benchmarks and make sure that the experience is smooth. Some of the other big changes that we've made, there have been some really big improvements to DataFrame iteration. And so if you're using Daft, especially if you're using Daft for loading data, say, into a machine learning job, right? If you're doing things like DataFrame.iter rows or iter partitions, there have been a whole bunch of changes being made um, to iteration of your workloads. And so if you go to the Daft documentation, let's take a look at the new iter rows. Iter rows. So if you want to iterate on rows, Daft will now provide you with this results buffer size, which will kind of buffer your results and then allow you to do this like high throughput asynchronous execution, but also make sure that you don't go out of memory, essentially. And this is very, very, very performant. We've been seeing a lot of people reporting that, hey, Daft is actually like much faster even than something like TF record, right? So if you're data loading using Daft from Parquet, just like normal Parquet files versus a dedicated machine learning like file format like TF record, Daft is actually much faster now, which is very cool. And yeah, there have been a lot of big improvements here. And there will be even more improvements, I think, once Colin and Co are done with the new execution engine, which we will be talking about a bit later. But yeah, so that's coming in 0.3. And then a whole bunch of UDF improvements. So UDFs now take in a resource request. And so per UDF, you can say, hey, this UDF specifically requires 1 GPU. And that was a change in API where previously you would specify it when you ask for like df.column resource request, but now you ask it directly on the UDF itself, which makes it a lot more ergonomic. Secondly, you can now actually specify a batch size. I hope this PR has it has no comments. But yeah, when you create a UDF now, you can actually ask it for a batch size, right? So that looks like this. Batch size equals yeah. So when you create a UDF, you can now say at UDF, my UDF expects this certain batch size, say 8, and then Daft will take care of giving you 8 rows at a time. And so that's actually a lot easier to work with than something that we had before, which is users. You have to do your own batching of the data, which is very unorganic. And then I think lastly, this one was a long outstanding issue. You can now customize the initialization of your UDF. So let's say your UDF takes in a init like that. If you have a UDF like this, it says like, hey, like def init, and it takes in some arguments. You can actually now customize what arguments you pass into your UDF at runtime. And you just do that with this, like, with init args, and then you customize the text thing right here. Okay, and then the last part is SQL support. So I think Corey added a whole bunch of SQL support, starting with Daft SQL expression. So you can now actually pass in SQL expression like df.where, right? And then SQL expression like this. And that automatically translates into a Daft expression, which is really cool. But we also have a whole bunch of stuff on the roadmap. On the roadmap, we have a SQL roadmap, which we are now building towards full SQL support for Daft. Instead of using a DataFrame, you can now use SQL to query in Daft, which is going to be really powerful. Yeah, and that's, I think, most of the updates that we have from the last month or so.